For England, no Mark Hateley, no Tony Woodcock, both injured. The two front runners, Gary Lineker himself carrying a bit of an injury, and Newcastle's Peter Beardsley. Most speculation seemed to favour Steve Hodge of Aston Villa in the midfield in the absence of Brian Robson, but it's Gordon Cowans who comes into that midfield now. Ray Wilkins is the skipper. While the Russian team, 6 survivors from the side that won so well and so convincingly at Wembley 2-0 2 years ago, including Goцmanov, who scored one of the goals that day. Oleg Blokhin, one of the great names of Russian football, would have been winning his 99th cap in this game, but he is just a substitute.
Playing deeper behind any of the other defenders, and Beardsley, Waddle and Lineker are all being marked closely tight.
Then when Brian Robson can't play, and to justify, as I was saying a moment or two ago, the role of the winger. And Chris Waddle finding himself in a central position. Really, he's got to show his World Cup pedigree. On the left of the picture there, Eduard Malofeyev. Cowans. Wilkins, who'd taken the corner and checked back to stay on side. Butcher is the target. It's a nice ball by Hoddle. Waddle's cross. Butcher. And now Beardsley. And it was a shot from Cowans that was blocked. Rینat Dасаєв, a fixture these days in the Soviet Union goal. The goalkeeper, of course, in the 1982 World Cup finals with Gary Lineker right in on the line. England looked to vary the play, and it was aimed for Hoddle, but Zavárov was watching him. Beardsley nudging it on for Viv Anderson. And
we look far more composed at the moment than the Russians. Good ball by Anderson, could have gone anywhere. And Anderson and Sansom, as I say.
Lineker waiting in the middle again from the long throw, which Dassayev deals with rather tentatively. Butcher. And a curling shot from Hoddle that had him...
A definite look edgy, the Soviets at the moment, and England have settled down awfully well. Bobby Robson will be very, very pleased with the first.
Zavárov. Cowans spreading the play, and Beardsley and Lineker working hard up front. And Lineker's read the back pass from Chivadze.
Well, that's probably why I think it was a diabolical penalty. But for me, this was a definite penalty. He's knocked it back the keeper. He's got the ball, and I tell you what, he would have scored there if he had stayed on his feet.
3 front players who can all play the game to feet, and their movement so far has been very good.
And here's Waddle. 13 minutes gone. England filling the middle, and they have another corner. So at the moment, the game being... A lovely turn by Dem'yanenko, the Soviet Player of the Year. And the penalty is given. Goцmanov, the player who was brought down. And the Bulgarian referee straight away pointed to the spot. Anderson on Goцmanov. From Dem'yanenko's through pass.
One can't help feeling he was a bit theatrical about that, and he's got the benefit of the Bulgarian referee's decision. I can't understand Lineker not getting that one and then that one there. That's a shame. It's a tragedy for England. We've started so well.
And he's missed it. Chivadze.
Maybe there's a moral in that somewhere.
A shake of the head from the home base player. And England survive. Alexander Chivadze beat Chilton, but it rocketed out off the post.
Maybe there's a moral in that somewhere.
A shake of the head from the home base player. And England... talks about the width of the Soviet play, which was a factor in that 2-0 win at Wembley back in 1984. They do have Beardsley, a neat touch for Hoddle. Good running again by Lineker, and it came just behind Cowans. He takes the free kick and picks out Gotzmanov. Tremendous running, but England... Gotzmanov was just loitering there and then darted away. Zavárov. On from Aleynikov. Kondratiev closely watched by Butcher, then Rodionov. But Shilton off his line quickly. So Bobby Robson has seen his side perform well going forward, but with Waddle joining Beardsley in the middle and Hoddle. Is Waddle jumping. Wilkins looking to collect on the edge of the area and squeeze a shot in. And had Dassayev plunging to his left. That looked, from our angle, as though it might have crept in, but for the goalkeeper.
It certainly was a good effort. I mean, he did well against Bubnov, the big, massive defender at the back post there. Waddle, he was quite brave there. Yes, I think it would have gone. Dassayev did well to get it.
And England have another corner.
There's another superb run by Beardsley. He's probing all the time. He's giving Wilkins and Hoddle targets to hit. And that's the good thing. They're bright up front. They're making good moves.
Butcher again joining Wright in the near post area. And Mark Wright got to it and, in fact, deflected it just too much. Off by Sansom. Zavárov. Forward from Rodionov. Kondratiev. And Rodionov finally hit by Kuznetsov. The defender who did well to support his front players then. But Shilton not with a shot on target to deal with. Kuznetsov couldn't keep his effort down. Kuznetsov getting forward again, although this is Besanov. And he is very much stronger on his right-hand side. And that effort won't have been appreciated by Malofeyev, the goal scorer himself in his playing days, a Russian international. Four of the players from Gotzmanov. Two waiting for the cross. And the header from Kondratiev only passed a yard or so wide. Kondratiev had gone to the near post. Rodionov was checking out towards the far side.
That's the problem, really, when you get forwards defending in deep positions. You beat Hoddle rather easily there. He's not a good defender, I don't think, Hoddle, to be fair. Players.
And they're looking particularly powerful down their left-hand side. But it's Waddle for Anderson. Aleynikov. Zavárov. And Dem'yanenko will hair down that touchline, and he's done brilliantly to keep the ball in play. Sansom knows too much and has said that Steve Hodge will be used at some point in the game. Sansom. Beardsley. It's not natural for Glenn Hoddle to want to play too wide. But he's picked out Lineker, who now needs some support, and it comes in turn from Hoddle. Waddle's waiting on the far post from Hoddle's viewpoint. And he jumps, coming in over the well received. And Oleg Blokhin. Chivadze. Be fit for Mexico. They played a league game at the weekend. Gotzmanov, that was ambitious. It's run all the way on for Dem'yanenko. The clearing header from Will. Beardsley. Chivadze concerned that he might have had to prevent a corner with the ball dropping off Kuznetsov. He rather showed his intention, and Gotzmanov, Shilton hesitated and decided to make his way back and wasn't put to the test by Sergei Gotzmanov. The score. Canadian Football Association doing a spot of scouting for the Canadian team manager Tony Waiters. The running from Zavarov and a corner. And it's dragged wide by Gotzmanov on the far side. Flicked on, in fact, Besanoff letting fly, and England trying to hold a square back line in case the long ball comes forward. And instead it comes forward from England, and it's Gary Lineker with the sort of chances that he's been getting all season for Everton. And they're just that much harder at international level.
Soviets were caught napping there. Terrific ball by Hoddle. One of the few players in the world that can see that ball. Terrific ball.
Away goes Lineker again, found this time by Wright, but he's very short of support. Well, concern on the Soviet bench. Move really by Viv Anderson. Although Dem'yanenko does bomb forward down the left-hand side for the Soviets, they've got no natural left-sided midfield player. And Lineker beaten by the punch of Dasiah. His teammates there. The Soviets switching the play to what looked like using this big crowd, as the Soviets have an injury problem. They play a masked at the moment. But some of the small number of England supporters have spent almost a week getting here. And it's Besanoff. Is that 3 plus a goalkeeper are permissible. Waddle. Beardsley has gone ahead of him, and that was nicely played by England. Lineker going to the near post, and Chivadze was aware of the point of danger and took the sting out of England's attack with a calm piece of defensive play. Gotzmanov filling in at the moment for Besanoff. Kuznetsov getting away with a piece of miscontrol. Chivadze. The crowd urging him to contribute more going forward. And it's his pass, and a good one too. The danger dealt with by Anderson. Number 15, Oleg Blokhin. Looks as though, after all, he will get his 99th cap. There's Litovchenko. Besanoff. The two players replaced. Roді, who was actually on the field, Besanoff, who was off getting treatment, and the double substitute. It's been quite difficult for England to track down. Hoddle. And the lack of strength in Wilkins' tackling showing then. And Blocking is away from Dassayev in the middle. And he almost got there first. Shilton saves very well indeed from Litovchenko. Well, the two Soviet substitutes both involved there. After Wilkins had been caught, really sold short a little by Hoddle. Kondratiev couldn't make it. Litovchenko did, but so too, bravely for England, did Peter Shilton. Back heel. Zavarov, Blokhin. And Hodge, who had made the original mistake, redeemed the error.
I can't help feeling at times the pitch is thwarting the accuracy of pass.
Here's Hodge. That's neatly done by Steve Hodge. Sansom arriving in support, but Hodge gets in the cross himself. Lineker looking to lay it off with the chest. And Beardsley pressing strongly. And almost robbing Gotzmanov inside his own penalty area. Ollie Robson was placing great importance in the training this morning of the industry of Lineker and Beardsley to keep harassing and keep chasing and stop the Soviets building from the back. And they might be able to do just that here. That, of course, is a wearying process for the front men. I'm sure Mick Shannon would have some views on that. Sansom covering and keeping Blохін at bay. Mistake by Litovchenko. And it was Hodge beavering away for England.
That's only a good thing when everyone else wants to just pass it. He wants to attack people with the ball.
Showing some of the ambition that our panellists were talking about at half-time. It's Hoddle with the free kick. And Butcher, who couldn't quite lean in. Waddle, who does remain the great England enigma, really, but that's a raking pass for Beardsley. Anticipating the mind of his old Newcastle teammates. Splendid work from Beardsley. And it's 1-0! England have taken the lead. And scored the first goal against the Soviet Union in a major international since 1979. And Chris Waddle, who started it all off, arrived in the middle after Beardsley had done so well. And how about this for a finish?
Wonderful. Soviet defender Bubnov was terrific. Good pass, good attack, early ball in the box, well fit.
It all. Oh, Waddle's been in tremendous goal-scoring form for Tottenham recently, and he lets fly again. 4 goals in his last 4 First Division games, and Bobby Robson, the look of a manager who knows that a gamble has come off in Russian. Gotzmanov. And just as there are smiles on the England bench, the frowns on the brow of Malofeyev, and they sneak up unnoticed on the far side, as if anyone could miss him, but he gets the header back across the face of the goal. Gary Lineker over the top, and they did neglect Butcher.
Superbly accurate ball, and Butcher, you just wonder what
their way of playing here in their hour of need. They are very rigid in their thinking and in their approach. And this time it's Lineker, found by Hoddle.
No other player. Wonderful pass. And with Lineker's speed, you've always got such
in the corner. Gotzmanov. Zavárov. It hits Hodge. Blocking, but he wants to use his left foot all the time. And Mark Wright did well. Trevor Stephen waiting to come on as Chivadze carries the ball forward for the Soviet Union. And it's Chris Waddle, the scorer of the goal, having done his David on a wide position in midfield.
I would have thought so. The Soviets now are beginning to build a little bit of pressure, but I do feel at the moment England, the crowd are strangely silent. I feel they sense that the England work and the England covering and the England defensive work has been so good that it's limited them to hardly any chances. In fact,
Ray Wilkins then to take the free kick. Again, Butcher's come forward, but it was worked short for Hoddle. Met by Sansom. Hodge. Here's Trevor Stephen. And that deflected off Litovchenko. It'll Oh, the back pass has given the ball to Lineker. Hodge. Steve Hodge again. And the crowd hooting their derision. England almost presented with a second goal. But the angle was tight for Lineker himself, and Hodge couldn't squeeze a shot in with the angle not much wider. Good blocking by Butcher. Ray Wilkins with the corner. Butcher trying to make something of it at the near post. Wilkins again. It's often portrayed that our players do lack the touch of other countries. Mark Wright making up ground, starting towards the near post. It's Wright who meets it. And England haven't secured it yet. And it's Aleynikov who heads over. Viv Anderson got a bang in jumping with Aleynikov. In fact, collided with Kondratiev. Sergei Aleynikov from Dynamo Minsk. Might have to. They'll be certainly feeling that they've been rewarded by what they've seen. A fixture that since Sansom, Beardsley, and still they win it back. And Peter Beardsley getting to the byline, and the cross taken comfortably by Dassayev. England still have 6 defenders back.
Beardsley will understand that this game has far more significant than coming on as substitute in his previous game, and he has done well today. He's done enough to persist with. I think he's lighted up the First Division this year.
Chivadze. They've got behind Ken Sansom this time. But what a comforting figure Peter Shilton is in times of stress. And that was a moment of anxiety.
Yeah, well, Peter won't like colour good, that goal.
And England have a tremendous victory through Chris Waddle's goal in the 67th minute. A victory really to boost our World Cup hopes. Bobby Robson's side, the first to win here in a major international.